Hey everybody, it's Tressa. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Staying safe and healthy and happy. It's hard to do every day, I understand. Today I'm gonna make, if you watch my video that I just posted, I used beef and pork in a delicious gravy. But today, it's still really hot here. Like September doesn't mean anything about fall here. It's pretty warm. So I'm gonna do an Instant Pot recipe, and it's I've done the chicken and sausage jambalaya before. My dad always uses pork. Of course, he does it in his Dutch oven. I'm gonna try in the Instant Pot today. I have pork, chicken, and sausage, and I thought I'd bring you along. It might come out well, it might not, but I don't have a lot of experience cooking the rice with the meat in the Instant Pot, but I'm getting better. And I want something quick tonight, so I thought I'd bring you along, and I needed a good Instant Pot video. I hope you enjoy the recipe, and we're gonna just keep cooking until it comes out delicious. So thank you for joining me, and let's get started. Yeah, turn my Instant Pot on saute. We bought a pack of pork ribs with the bone in. They were on sale for Labor Day. I buy boneless, skinless chicken breast when they're on sale. And we're also going to use our favorite sausage. This is pork and beef mix, and it's spicy. It's not that spicy, but it adds a lot of flavor. This is just a little bit of the pork fat that I cut off of the pork. I'm going to try to brown this, and this is going to be very simple. This is the amount of meat. It's a lot. It's mostly chicken and a little pork, and I put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, that's how I say it. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of Cajun seasoning today. And I gotta be careful because my chicken stock is salted. Let me just give that a little stir. And with this amount of meat, I'm gonna throw my sausage in this bowl. It takes a little while for this to heat up. And this is just some onions, a little tiny bit of celery, and a little bit of jalapeno chopped. And I'll put this in here. And I'm gonna put a little tomato paste. I'm gonna use chicken stock. I'm gonna use 2 cups of, we use medium grain rice. And also this is about a half a can of fire roasted tomatoes. And I used my immersion blender to blend it up nicely, and also took the peelings out because those annoy me. And my dad uses just a little bit of tomatoes. It's so good. He uses like the whole pork rib or whatever. But so I'm just gonna get some color on here, get a little bit of fat from the pork, and then I'm gonna take this out, and then I'm gonna add the rest of the meat and saute the onions for a minute. Make sure that I always add a little garlic powder and onion powder, and I have fresh garlic that I always have chopped in advance, and I'll use some of that. But the Cajun seasoning is really good on its own. Sometimes I like to add a little black pepper. So let me get this going. I haven't decided exactly how long I'm going to cook the rice yet, but I'll let you know. That's about all the color I'm probably going to get. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Pork doesn't give you a ton of color at the bottom of the pot. I don't find. But I do like it in certain things. And you can buy it on sale a lot. So I'm just going to add the meat. You could do this in batches. But I'm trying to make smaller recipes so I can cook more often. And also when it's test recipes, you know, you kind of want to start off small. I've made regular jambalaya in here successfully, but it's been a while. And if I just watch my own video, I'll probably just figure it out. But I kind of like to guess as I go along. I'm going to add a pinch of salt, kosher salt, and some black pepper. And you can use chicken thigh meat if you want to. A lot of people prefer that. It's more tender, and some people think it has more flavor. Ella's kind of picky, though, so we have to use chicken breast. I'm gonna add just a little extra garlic powder. And if you wanted to, once you get a little color in the meat, you could actually pull this out, cook your onions a little bit. I don't have a lot of patience sometimes for the Instant Pot. It doesn't get quite hot enough for me, but it's so convenient, and the food does come out well most of the time. So you can sacrifice a little bit of what you would normally do in a pot, I find. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of, I had fresh thyme, but it died in the heat. It was just too hot. I add a little bit to my hand. I like this in certain recipes, especially with chicken. And I just kind of rub it in my hand. And you remember, the rice isn't going to be flavored, so you can add a little extra seasoning. So I'm just going to cook this for a little while, stir it around, and I'll show you the next step. I just wanted to say, it takes a little time because there's a lot of liquid in the meat. You want to keep cooking it until you see a little fat at the bottom, and you want it to be a little brown. And you can see it's starting to brown a little bit. And it doesn't take too long. The Instant Pot just doesn't get quite as hot as a regular pot, but it's getting there. I just wanted to show you this stage. And I may not add all of this. I haven't decided yet. But, you know, that's up to you. You can add bell pepper, onions, celery, jalapenos, or just onion, whatever vegetables you like. But I do like fresh garlic. And I also like garlic powder. We love garlic. And I'm going to add only about a half cup of the tomatoes, I think. Like I said, this is kind of a test recipe. I haven't cooked it in a long time. I don't know if I've ever cooked it with pork, though. I don't think I ever have. I don't have a video besides the pork and the sausage. So anyway, it's getting there, and we'll add the onions next. Close up. Do you see the brown in the pot? That's perfect. That's a lot of flavor. So now I'm going to add my onions. Just add all of them. We like onions, and the Instant Pot cooks them really well. I mean, you won't even notice them, really. So you want to kind of deglaze, especially when you're going to cook rice. If you have one of the Ultra Instant Pots, you make sure you get all the brown stuff off the pot, because it'll give you the burn signal. This one I like because it's not quite so sensitive. And I may have to pour a little chicken stock to get that off. But once you cook the liquid out and a little bit of that fat, it goes quickly. You want to make sure you get it straight. I'm going to add a little garlic now. And this is like a whole head of garlic. I'm going to measure it with well, I had a spoon. I have to use my finger. Well, I don't know exactly how many cloves that is, but it's several. And you can cook the onions down as much as you want, but the Instant Pot does a really good job, so I don't worry about it too much. And you can use water to cook your rice in. Chicken stock. I'm using salted chicken stock. I hope it's not going to be too salty. It smells so good already. This is just a simple, quick meal. I did not sleep well last night, so if I sound a little tired, I apologize. And the Instant Pot saves on the heat in your kitchen. Okay, that looks good and clean. I like to scrape all the stuff off the sides too. Now let's see about the tomatoes. Because these have liquid, you have to count these as well. And you could totally skip the tomatoes if you wanted to. These are fire roasted. That's kind of getting where that's the only tomatoes I like. I forgot my tomato paste. It's Ella's favorite ingredient. I don't want to make it too red. Gotta wash that tap. Give that a little stir. Try to cook that tomato paste out. I would add the tomato paste first before you add the tomatoes. I got ahead of myself. And if you wanted more rice, you could totally do it. If you wanted to stretch your meat further. So I'm trying to measure. I just kind of eyeball it. And I'm just kind of seeing how much liquid is actually in here. And it's not too much. There are so many different instructions on cooking rice in the Instant Pot. So I'm going to do the best I can, best instructions I can. I'll go ahead and pour my 2 cups of rice. A lot of recipes call for long grain rice. We use medium grain, but it's about the same thing. Just kind of stir that around. And try not to get on the side of the pot. Now we're going to do our and I use the same cup that I make my rice in. This is my favorite chicken stock. I probably should use unsalted, but I think with that much rice it won't hurt anything. So that's one. I'm gonna give it a stir. And that's a little more than half. And then when I cook it, I don't mind if there's a little bit of brown at the bottom. I'd rather that than it to be too soupy. Okay, let's turn it off. Make sure it's spread out evenly. Like I said, you can kind of eyeball a little bit. I err on the side of less liquid, I believe, which sometimes I mess up, sometimes I don't. I'm gonna take it off saute. And I'm gonna add just a tiny bit. Okay. Put the lid. I have 2 Instant Pots out right now. I'm sorry, I gotta find my lid. Where is the right lid? Here it is. All right. You could put a bay leaf in here. I'm too lazy to find one. All right, I'm gonna do manual. And I'm actually going to do 10 minutes. And then I'll probably do 10-minute release, natural release. And when I cook rice by itself, I do 10 minutes. I like it kind of soft, but we'll see. As long as it's edible and it tastes good, that's fine. So with all those seasonings and good ingredients, it should turn out fine unless I burn it. The pressure's gone. So we're gonna open it. Oh, my glasses. It's hot when you open it. Looks pretty good. It's a little redder than I wanted, but that's okay. Let's give it a little stir. I can take my glasses off. I got a little crust at the bottom. Some people like that, especially the Korean people. But it's not burnt. And it looks pretty good. I'm quite pleased. I have to taste it. And it only took we only let it natural release for about 8 minutes. You taste the rice. Last night, I tasted something and I burned through from my mouth really badly because I don't have any patience. That is cooked perfectly. I'm turning that off. And I can taste the Cajun flavor, the Cajun seasoning, but it's not overly salty. So I would use chicken stock or make your own chicken stock. I think it adds a lot of flavor. This is really, really good. But oh, let me add my last finishing touch. The only thing I'm growing successfully, green onions. I had parsley, but it died. I had thyme, but it died. That looks good. All right. We'll do a taste test for you in a little while. Well, here's our jambalaya. And the little crusty part is good. And the meat's cooked just right. It's not mushy. It's got a good texture. I would prefer mine a little spicier, to be honest with you. For an easy, quick, one-pot meal, you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong with meat and rice, if you ask me. And I like the combination and how we made it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you try this. It's very easy and it's quick and it doesn't heat your house up and it's a lot of fun. And thank you for joining me and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.